In the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean, aboard the USS Horizon, a formidable destroyer cutting through restless waves, Lieutenant Alexander Hale stood on the bridge, his piercing blue eyes scanning the horizon. Alex, as his crew called him, was a man forged in the fires of duty, a tall, broad-shouldered sailor with a jawline that spoke of quiet resolve and a heart that beat for the sea. At 32, he had seen his share of tempests, but this one felt different. The air was thick with the scent of salt and impending doom, as dark clouds swallowed the sky like a ravenous beast. Beside him was Ensign Elena Voss, a brilliant navigator whose emerald eyes held the wisdom of ancient mariners. Elena, with her raven hair tied back in a practical ponytail, was the epitome of grace under pressure. At 28, she had joined the Navy to escape a life of predictability on land, drawn to the thrill of the unknown. Her voice, soft yet commanding, cut through the growing howl of the wind. "Captain, barometric pressure's dropping fast. This isn't just a squall, it's a monster." The crew, a tight-knit family of sailors, bustled with urgency. Among them was young Petty Officer Marcus Reed, barely 22, with a boyish charm and freckles that made him seem out of place in such peril. But Marcus's hands were steady as he secured lines on the deck, his thoughts drifting to his little sister Sophia back home in San Diego. Sophia, just 10, with golden curls and a spirit as wild as the ocean, had sent him a drawing before deployment, a stick-figure sailor, braving waves taller than mountains. "Be brave, big brother," she had written in crayon. As the first gusts battered the ship, Captain Harlan Thorne barked orders from the helm. "All hands on deck. Secure the hatches, batten down everything loose." The USS Horizon pitched violently, waves crashing over the bow like thunderous applause. Alex and Elena exchanged a glance, a silent pact forged in the face of nature's fury. They knew the storm was no ordinary foe. It was a test of their souls. Deep in the engine room, the hum of machinery fought against the roar outside. Elena descended the ladder, her boots echoing on metal grates. "Status report," she called to the team. Chief Engineer Lila Grant, a sturdy woman in her 40s with calloused hands and a no-nonsense demeanor, wiped sweat from her brow. "Pumps are holding, but if we take on more water, we'll be in trouble." Elena nodded, her mind racing. She thought of her own family, her widowed mother in Virginia, who prayed every night for her safe return. The Navy wasn't just a job. It was a calling that demanded everything. Back on the bridge, Alex monitored the radar, his fingers gripping the console as the ship rolled. Lightning fractured the sky, illuminating the chaos. "Incoming wave, brace!" he shouted. The vessel lurched, sending unsecured gear tumbling. In that moment, Alex remembered his late father, a Navy veteran who had perished in a similar storm years ago. "The sea gives and takes," his father had said. Alex vowed not to let it take anyone today. As the storm intensified, the crew's camaraderie shone through. Marcus, drenched and shivering, helped a fellow sailor tie down a cannon. "We've got this," he muttered, echoing Sophia's words. But deep down, fear gnawed at him, the fear of never seeing her smile again. The first part of their ordeal was just beginning, a prelude to the heart-wrenching battles ahead. The storm's fury unleashed itself upon the USS Horizon like a vengeful god. Waves towered at 40 feet, slamming into the hull with bone-shaking force. Water cascaded over the decks, turning the ship into a floating battlefield. Alex clung to the railing, his uniform soaked, salt stinging his eyes. "Hold the line!" he yelled over the deafening gale. His voice carried the weight of leadership, but inside, his thoughts swirled like the vortex around them. To Elena, to the crew, to the fragile thread of survival. Elena, in the navigation room, plotted their course through the madness. Charts fluttered in the wind, seeping through seals, and the GPS flickered erratically. "We're drifting off course, starboard engines at full," she commanded into the intercom. Her hands trembled slightly, not from fear, but from the adrenaline surging through her veins. She recalled her first storm as a cadet, how it had tested her limits and revealed her strength. Now, with lives depending on her, she couldn't afford weakness. Down below, Marcus battled in the bowels of the ship. A pipe had burst under the pressure, flooding the compartment with icy seawater. "Grab the wrench, seal it now," he shouted to his partner, Seaman Arya Chen, a quick-witted engineer with almond eyes and unyielding determination. Together they wrestled the valve shut, their muscles burning. Marcus's mind flashed to Sophia, her innocent laughter a beacon in the darkness, I promised I'd come home, he whispered to himself, pumping water with renewed vigor. Captain Thorne's voice crackled over the speakers. Mayday! Mayday, this is USS Horizon. Position 15 N, 140 W, requesting immediate assistance, but the radio hissed with static. The storm had severed their lifeline. Isolation gripped the crew like the cold waves. Alex rushed to the captain's side. Sir, we can't wait for help. We push through. Thorne, grizzled and wise, nodded. You're right, Hale. Lead the damage control team. As Alex assembled his squad, including Elena and Marcus, a massive rogue wave loomed, a wall of water that seemed to defy physics. Incoming! Elena screamed. The ship tilted perilously, alarms blaring. Crew members slid across the deck, grasping for handholds. In the chaos, Marcus lost his footing, slamming into a bulkhead. Pain shot through his arm, but he gritted his teeth. I'm okay, he lied, pushing on. Elena's quick thinking saved them. She adjusted the thrusters just in time, righting the vessel. But the damage was done. Leaks sprang in multiple sections. And power flickered. In a quiet moment amid the turmoil, Alex pulled Elena aside. If we don't make it, he began, his voice raw. She placed a hand on his arm. We will, for them. For us. Their eyes locked, a spark of unspoken connection igniting in the storm's heart. The crew's resilience was palpable. Lila organized repair teams, her commands sharp and efficient. No one's dying on my watch, she bellowed. Stories of past survivals were shared in hushed tones, tales of heroism that fueled their fire. Yet as the night deepened, exhaustion set in. Marcus, nursing his injury, thought of Sophia's drawing tucked in his pocket. It was sodden now, but its message endured. Be brave. The tempest raged on, testing every fiber of their being. Bonds strengthened in the crucible of danger, revealing the true power of the human spirit. But the worst was yet to come, as the storm's eye approached, promising a deceptive calm before the final assault. As the USS Horizon entered the storm's eye, an eerie calm descended. The winds hushed to whispers and the waves gentle to swells. The crew emerged from their stations, battered but unbroken, to assess the wreckage. Debris littered the decks, torn rigging, shattered glass, and pools of water reflecting the gray sky. Alex surveyed the damage, his face etched with determination. Damage report, he ordered, his voice steady despite the ache in his bones. Elena, clipboard in hand, tallied the toll. Hull integrity at 70%. Engines holding, but we've lost auxiliary power. 2 injured, minor fractures. Her eyes met Alex's, conveying more than words. We survived the first half. Marcus, arm in a makeshift sling, joined them. What now, sir? He asked, his youthful face pale but resolute. Alex clapped his shoulder gently. We repair what we can. And we prepare for the back end. It's always worse. In this brief respite, humanity resurfaced. Sailors shared rations, laughed at near misses, and remembered why they served. Elena sat with Marcus, bandaging his wound. Tell me about home, she prompted, sensing his turmoil. Marcus's eyes softened. My sister, Sophia. She's the light of my world. Draws pictures of me as a superhero. Elena smiled warmly. She sounds amazing. Hold on to that, it's what gets us through. Captain Thorne gathered the officers. We've got hours at best before the wall hits again. Prioritize, seal leaks, reinforce the bridge. As teams dispersed, Alex and Elena worked side by side, welding patches over breaches. Their conversation turned personal. Why the Navy, Elena? Alex asked, sparks flying from the torch. She paused. To prove I could. My father said women belonged on shore. I wanted to show him the sea has no gender. Alex nodded. And you've proven it 1,000 times. Marcus, assigned to lighter duties, monitored communications. A faint signal broke through. USS Horizon, this is USS Vanguard. We're en route, ETA 6 hours. Cheers erupted, but reality tempered joy. The storm's rear would stir.